Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. Welcome to Beyond Your Radio. I'm your Canadian music obsessed host, Mark Kulagowski. I won't go any deeper than that. Let's just say I've got every major alphabetical letter covered from bands and artists from Canada and then some. And there's outstanding bands and artists of all alphabetical and numerical configurations that have been coming out weekly, it seems. And our panelists today have found some outstanding albums from the country that brought us insulin in 1921. It brought us Sam Panopoulos. Do you know what he's famous for? The Hawaiian pizza. That's right. Was invented in Hawaii.
I don't like him even worse now.
And of course, we have to thank the CBC from back in 1955, because without that, we wouldn't have instant replay. And speaking of that, if you click the subscribe button, you can replay our videos over and over and over again. You can like, you can comment, you can get notified of anything that we're doing right now or premiering later. Now, what did our panelists bring tonight? Well, there's no particular genre here. It can be old, it can be new, it can be jazz, it can be experimental rock, it can be chamber music.
Yeah.
Joining me on the panel tonight, the man who knew Hawaiian pizza didn't come from Hawaii, the Grateful Dude. My partner in Canadian concert-going crime, Jeff Young. And my Royal York, I know what a York is, Sue Kulagowski. Hello,
So
everybody.
Sue, you're York now, huh?
Don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I didn't know what to. I don't know. That came up at the last minute. Things
Is
that
that Canadian humor? Because I don't get it.
It's Canadian humor.
Hey,
Sorry, I'm not Jim Carrey, Dan Aykroyd.
what are you
Is this
talking
gonna
about?
be? Are you broadcasting this in French and English when you edit it?
Yes, there'll be a translation going around the bottom. Je suis américain. All right. So I'm gonna start with the ladies first. Let's go with Sue.
So I went with a female who was really big. I think, let's see, late 80s. Her first album came out, I believe, in 89. But I'm not doing that one, but it's probably the one she's most noted for. It had the song Black Velvet. Anybody?
Yes, I know it is.
You know, I'm curious if Jeff knows, all the way out there on the West Coast and the Pacific Islands. Alana Miles.
Nope.
You might like her, Jeff. I don't know, but she's kind of a sultry singer, kind of rock a bluesy, a beautiful voice. She is 64 years old now, and I just saw a photo of her and she looks like she's 27, which is really weird if it's an up-to-date photo. So Alana, I believe, put out 6 albums, 2 compilations over the years. The album I am going with, although I like a couple of them, a few of them, but I went with an album called Rockinghorse. Came out in 1992. Full of good songs. A lot of them are ballads, but she does have kind of some edgy, rocky stuff going on as well. Obviously, Rockinghorse, the song is on there. Sunny Say You Will is just a beautiful song. They're all good. Her first album was also really nice to listen to, but I want to say this one. I feel like, Mark, we listened to it a lot more. I could be wrong, but
Yes, it was a little less predictable.
yeah. And so far as the Black Velvet, you must have heard the song Black Velvet, Jeff, though. I'm not going to sing it.
I
but
probably have.
yeah. That one, I believe that won her Grammy for Best Female Rock Performance and Juno Awards, and it was inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2021. So
I hear it down here in grocery stores still.
really,
Yep.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard it in forever, but yeah, she really, I think, has like a timeless kind of classic voice. I think she's got the kind of voice and songwriting that would appeal to just about anybody. So, but I don't think and I want to say too, I did a little bit of research on her, but it was last week, so I've forgotten some of it. But I want to say she had a really hard time finding a record label to start out with. She got a lot of rejection, so so good for her for finally getting it. And then I don't know if she's still putting out music now. From what I understand, she's had some major health issues, like an autoimmune illness that followed up by like a broken leg or something. So, but yeah, that's my pick.
It's a good one.
Good pick. She's definitely got that rock delivery in that blues tint.
A little bit of
that-
rasp, a little bit of
Yeah, a
rasp.
little raspiness, like a Beth Hart maybe, but just maybe not as powerful as Beth Hart.
I don't think I ever saw her live. I never did see it. I don't think I ever saw her.
I don't believe we have. I
Yeah.
honestly,
Nope.
I think there are opportunities where there were multiple shows where she might have been one and we didn't go to the, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
She didn't play around here coming down to the States.
I don't think so. I don't recall it.
Yeah, Rockinghorse was a great follow-up, and I honestly remember that having more musical cohesiveness to
Well,
it.
where's she from? Is she from Western Canada or is she from Eastern Canada?
Hmm.
Maybe just because, I mean,
if I remember correctly, she was born on Christmas Day.
Really?
I don't remember where though. Oh, she's Toronto.
Is she
Oh.
Toronto?
well, then there's no excuse.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
On that comedic note, we'll head over to you, Mr. Young, and see what you brought us today.
I did Dig by I, Mother Earth. And this is the shirt from one of the shows I went to in Toronto. It's the only concert shirt I have that I can still wear that I actually own. Actually, it's the only one I own that I still have. That's actually an authentic concert bought t-shirt. But it's a debut album from 1993. And it's got 12 tracks. You know, one of them, the last one was 8 minutes long, but most of them are regular, normal, length. So the singer Edwin sang on the first 2 albums. I think it came back later, but those are probably the 2 best albums. But this one is called Dig, and it's, this album has lots of ambient moods and melodies with guitar-driven rock moments, and some of the lyrics are sort of psychedelic and hard rock sounding, and that also has a lot of like Latin percussion instruments, especially like when they do like jam sessions in some of the longer songs. And first time I saw them, I was so surprised that I saw them in a small club, and I couldn't believe they just started, hey, we're just gonna go play. And even Edwin the singer started playing the bongos with next to the percussionist, and it's just, you can tell they're all real like musicians. And like in almost every song, I feel like every performer in that band, there's no shortage of moments where they get to shine on their own, whether it be bass or even just a little bit of keyboard or some percussion or something you didn't expect. So it's a good album, really good album. I can see it's probably one of their most successful albums. But and actually Edwin, if you like it, if you like I, Mother Earth and Rush, he was one of the main vocalists on Victor, which was Alex Lifeson's solo project, which is a pretty good variety of songs and instrumentals from Alex Lifeson. And he sings on, I think, at least half the songs. He's got one other female singer on that too, but just always liked Edwin's voice.
Yeah, he's had some great solo records too. It's funny, of all the Canadian albums that we've talked about, this one probably moved the most units in the United States that we've talked about so far. It's about 100,000 units in the U.S.
The reason I picked this one is because it was just one that I bought, and I knew it just was in my car like probably easily over a year or two. Like it's just always in my car.
I just know that the most overplayed song for me is Basketball. Just the drumming on that is absolutely madness. And he has the ability to scream and carry it in a different tone. And it's just so good with the drums and bongo and all that's going on. That is definitely my favorite I Mother Earth record. I know they had another singer come in, and I know that Edwin's done other projects with other people, including one of the guys from the Tea Party, with was it Crash Karma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if there is there and there's So Gently We Go on that record, it's a great song, well written. All these, you could say there's no keyboard on this album, but you could say this is a progressive rock album, the way it's handled and the way it comes across. I mean, I think, wait a minute, no, there might be some Hammond organ on it. So yeah, give it, if you are a progressive rock lover in the, you want a little bit heavier Rush and more metal sounding, you might enjoy this record. And yeah, fabulous record. Good pick. Good pick.
It's metal, but not harsh like you think of heavy metal.
No,
It's like
no.
hard, I call it more hard rock.
Yeah, there's no screaming guitar. The guitars are done. Yep. Grateful Dude, what brought you?
Well, this is an album and a group that I've never heard of before until this week. I was looking through lists of Canadian bands, and I came up with one, and I called Mark, as I normally do when it comes to Canadian bands. Have you ever heard this? He says, yeah, they're great. I actually saw them. So the band we're talking about is called The Honeymoon Suite.
Oh, yeah.
And the album is The Reprise, and I absolutely freaking loved it.
Cool.
There are no ifs, ands, or buts. I've listened to it 4 times today just because I enjoyed it so much, and I wanted to get a little bit of background in my head, but it's great. They have so many influences. One song sounds a little like Sting or the Police, and they have a little bit of Van Halen. It's the influence is just amazing about how these guys have, and they're very, very talented. I
always felt they were pretty underrated myself.
Oh, there's no question. If I haven't heard of them at all, they have to be really underrated. But they're Canadian. What can I say? So, but I really liked it. I mean, there's Bad Attitude was fabulous. Feeling.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
Feeling It Again. That sounds like Sting. If you listen to it, it's just amazing. One by One, Once the Feeling, Take My Hand. I loved it all. I mean, there wasn't a song on this album I did not enjoy. And for the last hour, while I was packing and prepping for this show, I just turned on Alexa and told me to play anything from them, and they definitely have some pretty good stuff. I'm gonna download all the albums I can today, and then take them on the trip with me, and I'll listen to them on my myriad of airline
nice
trips I have coming. So no, Mark, this was a great find, and I thank you for turning me on to it. I really enjoyed it.
No,
So,
you can thank the airplane, right? They were playing one of the songs, and then I don't know what song, but
yep. So, but yeah, I've never heard of them before. Have they got much notoriety in the States at all?
They, again, as what happens in Canada, the cross-border areas, yes. We were huge into Honeymoon Suite. They play here constantly. However, I will say that from people I know in the industry, etc., they were not the nicest of individuals, and they probably didn't get treated very kindly in return by record labels in that regard, because they're huge in Canada. They were huge in Canada. Feel It Again was on every Canadian radio station all the time. In 86 or something, it had to be in the top 10 songs played on radio. I don't think it registered as number 1, which is odd considering the talent and where they went from there, because they actually they wrote, yeah, I know they wrote the song Lethal Weapon for the movie Lethal Weapon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they obviously had connections in the
Mhm.
States, because I don't believe that production was Canadian. So there's something to be said. They actually what's pretty funny is that's Bob Rock doing the engineering on that record. And Bob Rock with Gord Downey. Bob Rock's a legend in music production. He knows how to put sound together and engineer that. Also, would it be really? There's a song on there, all along you knew, all along you knew, all along you knew.
All along you knew.
Yes. Do you hear any flute in there?
Yep.
Guess who that is?
I'm afraid to ask.
Ian Anderson.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Yep.
You got the ear, brother. You got the ear. I told you.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I was listening. This afternoon I put on my my earbuds because you can really hear a lot more with those. And there's all kinds of horns and I heard a piccolo, all kinds of stuff in this thing.
That I wouldn't
Or
know.
what album was New Girl Now on?
New Girl.
I Got a New Girl Now.
I think that's on the original, the Honeymoon Suite debut.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably right.
It's definitely on that, because the next album after this one is Lethal Weapon, is what that album was called. Damn it, it's gold. Look, it's a great record too. Like, their first 3 records in session are like spot on. They never left a track that you went, why did they do that? They knew what they were doing. And I don't know if Bob Rock did them all, but yeah, really good band. We saw them live. They were fantastic. And cool thing, they ended their set with No Sympathy for the Devil.
I find this Canadian band better than Rush.
Oh, don't let that. Oh, geez. Okay, now 17 people just said unclick. How dare you? That's blasphemous. Yeah, really
they
good.
Should have made. That's what I said. I said that in reference. This band should have made it a lot farther.
Yes, and that I think when people talk in cycle of that, they'll mention bands that why weren't they huge? The Tragically Hip, the Tea Party, the Honeymoon Suite, Blue Rodeo. They get
Canadian.
All Canadian. Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Well, on that note, that record was either, I think, 3 times platinum in Canada, so that sold over 300,000 copies. So my album tonight will not be something anyone probably knows except the Royal York. My pick tonight is from Vancouver, British Columbia, and it's an instrumental band, and a very, very interesting one at that. And that is the band called Pugs and Crows. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but I will on the other. They are basically, like, it's an instrumental band, but they have jazz influences. So there's all kind of musicians on here, from the piano, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, bass, drums, trumpet. And this record is actually a dual. There's a CD in each. Obviously my CD is already in my car. I was still listening to it again. It's led by a violinist. She is the lead, and it's Meredith Bates. Absolutely interesting when the violin is the lead. She is playing a violin in somewhat typical style, and then sometimes not. Yes, does she do the picking? Yes. But does she have some outstanding wildness to it? Yes. In a song, and I believe this is correct, Underwater, she makes the violin sound like a whale and other odd things. And the band just flows along with it. We were fortunate enough to see this band in a jazz club in Rochester during the Rochester Jazz Festival, in a very small venue, basically a dining hall, if you really want to think about it. It was just mesmerizing to watch. They do have other records. This is the one I chose because it kind of gives you a little bit of both sides of a little bit more of what they do. And it even adds Tom Wilson in there. Not Tom Wilson of Junk House, Tom Wilson of other fame in Canada. It's one of my favorite instrumental albums out of Canada from a band of this many people. Truly something that you should listen. If you love jazz, that's a little bit avant-garde, and a lot of improvisation that might be, it's not the same all the time. This is a solid record. I recommend it highly. So I'll thank the panelists for their time tonight and giving us these outstanding records from the Leaf. We're on the web at www.beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Every day I'm putting out an album for the day. Those are fun to watch and pick up on. Some of them are albums, a lot of them are not. Look for that on this coming Saturday. As always, happy listening.